I'm sorry, Hunter. We go on the Friday edition, Mr. Relevant. Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio, Will Sommers, Hunter Vaughn with you ahead of Packers, Bears, wild card weekend coming up tomorrow night at Soldier Field in Chicago. I still got the EBGBs we were talking about on Wednesday, man. I'm fired up about this game. It's It seems like everybody has a similar opinion regardless of result, right? Like some people picking the Bears, some people picking the Packers. I've seen one person and one person only say somebody will win in a blowout, and that's Dan Orlovsky, maybe the biggest Jordan Love fan on the planet. But otherwise, it seems everybody has a pretty similar gut feeling that this will be a down-to-the-wire, minuscule one-score game decided likely on the last drive. Like, Josh, Will, Fairs, like that's how I feel. And it seems like that's the popular feeling going into tomorrow night between the Packers and the Bears.
I don't necessarily think it comes down to the last drive, last play. I think it'll be tightly contested, but I do think there's a scenario where some team late puts it away and then
goes up by 10, say, with 3 minutes left. Sure.
Right. And then that team tries to get back, turnover, etc. Game over.
Got it. Will?
I mean, both of the games between these teams so far have come down to the last play, and
that's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
75% of the Bears games this year have come down to the last play. I think it's close down to the wire.
And Hunter is a neutral party. I guess I'm curious where your head's at as a Cowboys fan who will obviously be watching this game, as you will be tonight in the college football playoff and both the games tomorrow and all 3 games Sunday and the game on Monday. But as a neutral party, I'm curious where your head's at. Are you similar thought process to all of us?
Chuck and Wally on the Damn Sports Show asked me yesterday, and I said I went 17-7 Packers on this one.
Does
I think
he go
this
by
is
Chuck now? Charlie?
Well, Charlie
Does he go by
Durr.
Chuck?
I just call him Chuck. I don't know if he goes by Chuck. That's just what I do. So I said 17-7. I think this is going to be a gross game. I think we're going to get the worst version of the weather reports possible, and it's just going to be disgusting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, it seems like it's going to be snowy and gross, but the good news for the Packers is it seems like Josh Jacobs is the healthiest he's been in months, right? Obviously, didn't play last week in Minnesota. I think he got 3 or 4 carries in the game against Baltimore and was pulled after the fumble in the third quarter against the Bears. So he's barely played the last several weeks, and he's completely off the injury report with that knee injury he was dealing with since, I think it was Thanksgiving or the week prior to Thanksgiving. So good to see that Josh Jacobs is healthy, because I would imagine that workload might be rather heavy for both him and obviously on the other side, Chicago. I think this is going to be a try to control the time of possession, slow down the game. And I think Hunter could be right in terms of this could be a low-scoring game. But we will see on that. Hey, coming up for you today, Brad Nortman is going to join us every Friday through the Super Bowl, which will be a fun addition to Mr. Relevant. He'll join us for about 15 minutes every Friday. So he'll join us about 15 minutes from now to talk about the playoffs and getting up for games like this. Obviously, he had plenty of experience with that. Both of the teams he played for also in the postseason this year, Jacksonville and Carolina. I don't know if there's ever been a postseason that both of those teams have been a part of, frankly. Josh is thinking over there. Maybe.
What about 2016? Was it 2016? There was that weird year where it was like Case Keenum, Blake Bortles, and Kirk Cousins.
So that was
Brady.
that was 17
for the Final Four.
And Brad was on that Jags team who lost to Brady, and that was actually his last NFL game where they lost to Brady in the NFC Championship or AFC Championship game. But I don't know if Carolina was in that. I don't know. These are just like two teams that are lovable losers typically, and they're both in the postseason. And shoot, we'll get to our wild card weekend kind of analysis / rapid fire picks right before the end of the show. But like that Buffalo Jacksonville game, that might be the sexiest / ugliest of the weekend. What I mean by that is like it could be low scoring, it could be high. I don't know what to expect out of that game. That's a really fun one this season. 1996.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
They both made the playoffs in 96, which is before you and I were born.
Correct.
Josh was a little tight.
We can't get over the fact that
Josh just got his driver's license.
Your discussion of that game is it could be really exciting or it could be bad.
I was just going to move past that. That 96 season, really wasn't that the Panthers' first season?
Yes.
It was.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Would have been close to Jacksonville's first, too, wouldn't it have been?
I think they were both expansion teams. It says they reached their conference championship games after a remarkable rookie campaign. So I think it was both.
Oh,
first year.
There you go.
Because then the Panthers, didn't they lose to the Packers up at Lambeau?
Yes. I believe that's correct.
And
There is
Kevin
some
Green
data
had a
supporting
solid
it.
game for the Panthers. I don't know why I know this much. I was 4 years old. But this is all starting
30
to like...
to 13
Yeah.
en route to the Super Bowl.
I think I sent it to you guys, though. There is some data supporting that the Panthers will make the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the year Ohio State wins the
I
national
saw that.
championship. Panthers have a losing record. Panthers open the season versus Jacksonville, and J-Lo files for divorce. The Panthers make the Super Bowl.
How many times has she been divorced?
I mean, according to this, 3.
Did her and Ben Affleck get married twice? Joshy? You might be our historian on this one.
I have no idea.
I don't think they got married the first time. I think that
I
was
thought they
just...
didn't get married the second time, maybe.
Jennifer Lopez has been married 4 times.
Jeez. Good for her. I mean, makes sense.
It appears that her and Ben Affleck were married just once.
Okay.
Mark Anthony and her had a nice 10-year run. Everything else has been 2 to 3 years.
Pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. Very good. All right, back to Packers-Bears now. You mentioned the weather. Kind of sucks if it would be snowy, right? It just kind of makes for a less fun game. What was that face?
Oh, yeah. I would hate for one of the most storied rivalries to have in January snow surrounding it. That
Two
would
teams
be
that play in the
terrible.
coldest cities.
Yeah, that would be
But
bad.
Josh, hold on, Joshy.
That would be just not what anybody wanted to see.
Don't look away from me. Look at me right now.
I don't need to look at you.
Look at me because I have a question for you, and I think we should make eye contact while I ask it.
Nope.
Okay, no, I'm going to ask it anyway. I guess you win on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the Packers' key to winning this game throwing the football effectively?
Wind would be a bigger concern than snow.
In terms of throwing the football?
Yes.
Wouldn't it make it slippery, though? And a team that has...
What's more slippery, rain or snow?
Rain.
Okay.
Rain.
Okay.
But this is still a team
Couldn't you argue the team that basically needs to run, if it's there's snow on the ground, they're going to have a harder time running?
God, your big brain stuff, man. I like how smart you are sometimes. Sometimes it really bugs me. That was a good one. It was a good pop. Hey, by the way, book update. Read 2 chapters last night. I'm back. After a couple of days off. Read 2 chapters last night. Put me right to bed. It was awesome. I don't know what to make defensively after the Baltimore game. That part worries me a little bit. The run defense. Now they've been able to contain both Caleb Williams and the run game in both matchups this season. The one at Lambeau and the one at Soldier Field within the last month. But after seeing what Derrick Henry did to the Packers defense, Joshy, is there any part of you that goes, uh-oh?
No, I think the context is different.
Go ahead.
First of all, the Ravens had a lot of success on inside zone. The Bears are not very good at running inside zone. Wait, did I say the Ravens? Derrick Henry. They had a lot of success on inside zone. The Bears don't run that as well. They're actually towards the bottom of the league in running that. And no disrespect to DeAndre Swift or Kyle Monangai.
They ain't Derrick Henry.
They ain't even half of a Derrick Henry. So yeah, no, it's not a concern. I mean, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to be moderately successful at it. It's just mitigating the big runs and the consistently moving the chains that way. I'm not super concerned in terms of like they run away with the game and the Packers have no answer.
Yeah, I don't think. I honestly think that could be that's probably the least likely of the 4 scenarios, right? We'll call that a runaway, call it a blowout, whatever you want to call it. I think it's more likely if there's a runaway or a blowout, it's the Packers winning the game. And then I think the other 2 most likely options are Packers win tight, Bears win tight. Right? Like that's where my head's at for this one. But we'll see. So I guess I want to get in your brain for a moment, which it usually works a lot better when you're getting inside my brain, but I'm going to attempt to play your psychologist, which is kind of reverse of what we do around here. You have been part realistic, but also part pessimistic. Fair? Is that fair?
Yes.
So when it comes to this game, I'm sensing optimism. I'm sensing that you believe the Packers will go down to Chicago and end their season.
Yeah.
But past that, I would imagine, okay, it's over.
Yes.
Similarly, and I don't want to compare the Seahawks to the Dodgers by any means, but similarly to the Brewers, the big thing this offseason, I mean, you wanted them to get to the World Series, obviously, but you were convinced earlier than most they weren't going to be able to get to the World Series.
Yes.
So the big thing was beating the rival in the postseason and making a little bit of a run, right? Getting to the NLCS and then getting embarrassed in the NLCS by the Dodgers. But similarly to the Brewers, that's kind of how you're viewing the Packers season.
Yeah.
Beat your rival, and that's probably the year. That's going to be the win of the year.
I think I said it after the Broncos game. The best scenario would be losing to the Bears and then facing them again in the playoffs and sending them packing and making them feel a little less like they've had the come up they're expecting. I think the Bears are the reason I feel the way I do. I think the Bears are like a historically weak 2 seed.
Yeah.
I think there's probably 2 to 3 better teams. Even though I do think like the Bears are definitely capable of beating the Eagles, even though the Eagles are ranked higher than them, that's just a matchup thing. But in terms of like quality rosters and talent, I don't fear the Bears the way I would fear the Seahawks or the Rams, or even the Eagles if the Packers were to play them. Those teams I think would have the Packers would have a more difficult time beating. I think there's only so far this Packers team with all the injuries can go. I think there's a limit to the ceiling.
Agreed.
I don't think it's impossible to beat the Seahawks. I do think it's highly unlikely. And I do think the Seahawks would probably be a pretty decent favorite on the road.
Oh, yeah. I would guess they're probably favored by 5.5, 6.5.
Yeah. If the Packers were to advance this week, I trust Jordan Love more than you should trust Caleb Williams, and the unknown of Ben Johnson and how much you can trust him versus a Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, right? Like, and we're allowed to be honest, as much as I want to be disrespectful and take pot shots at the Bears and their fans, specifically their fans, more so than the Bears. No offense, Will. You're not them. Love you.
I'm not them, I'm him.
But when it comes to Ben Johnson, we can all admit he's a good coach.
Yes.
And he's a really creative schemer offensively.
Play caller, yes.
Play caller. I'm really curious to see how he handles this. Is he going to try to get too cute, which he's been known to do occasionally?
I saw a quote from him where he's like, "This isn't about the fancy plays and the exotics. This is about execution," which tells me
it's going to be about the fancy plays and exotics.
Yes, that's going to come out, especially if the Bears are playing from behind. It's going to be throw stuff at the wall time for them.
You think he'll panic fast?
I think so, because I think he looks at the Packers and thinks we're no better than this team, and we can't just win doing what we, like line them up, run the plays, and let's go beat them. I think he realizes we need something special here to win.
Yeah, like they're going to have to steal one. I think Matt LaFleur
also I almost think Matt LaFleur probably feels a little bit similar. Like, there's not a whole lot of difference between these two teams.
No, they're super evenly matched. I mean, the line tells you that, right? I mean, the Packers are only favored by 1.5.
So I don't think anyone thinks they have a clear advantage. I just know the personality of Ben Johnson and how he did things with the Lions and what I've seen Matt LaFleur do in those situations. One guy seems to crazy everything at the wall. Let's empty the playbook, everything we got. I mean, we saw them do that to the Packers.
The first matchup.
Yes. Yeah, it was clearly we think we're being beat right now, so we need to give them everything we got. And I think he's going to fall. I mean, there was times with Dan Campbell and the Lions where they would just keep running trick plays for no reason. It's like, dude, you guys have all this talent. Just run the ball or throw the ball.
It's kind of what happened in the NFC Championship game last year.
Yeah, just go out and
2 years ago. Yeah.
Just go out and play football, man.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I guess, Will, as you hear us talk about this, you're a Bears fan. You've watched every game. You've gotten a year of Ben Johnson under your belt. Are we out of line? Are we onto something?
No, I mean, you're completely right. I don't want him to get cute early. Like, I don't think the Packers offense, as much as you don't want to hear it, is as plug and play as we think with Jordan Love coming off of 2.5 weeks of not playing. And the Bears this season are 10-1 when they score 7 points in the first half, which seems like such a small task for them to complete in order to achieve that good of a record. But the fact of the matter is they start slower than they should. And it's they haven't scored 7 points in the first half either time when they played the Packers. And I mean, a lot could have changed on that first drive of the second matchup where they are just running the ball down the Packers' throats, and then they tried to do that stupid trick play with the snap between Cole Kmet's legs. So I think you can't get cute early. Like, if the time to get cute is when the Packers have figured you out. Until then, you run the ball down their throat and stick to what you know best.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is a crazy stat, though. 7 points in the first half. They're 10-1.
That seems like a low bar.
Yeah. They just don't score a lot in the first half.
I mean, that's all to come from behind wins, right?
It makes sense, though, because if they establish a lead and they can just keep running, they have success at that. And I totally forgot about the snap between just the most unnecessary play call of all time.
Go to the Eagles game. They executed that game plan the exact way they should have against the second game against the Packers. Like, they just ran the ball. They ran the Eagles to death, and then when they needed to, they passed it. That's all you got to do. He didn't get cute, and they clobbered him.
Clobbered him.
Clobber.
Good use of the word clobber.
Slobber knocker.
Oh, that's my favorite. Slobber knocker. I think we're going to get an old-fashioned slobber knocker Saturday night. Packers, Bears aside, I don't know that I've ever been this excited for a wild card weekend. The only game of the Giants spread is Rams-Panthers, and the Panthers beat the Rams earlier this year. Like, when you look across these games, Steelers-Texans, that one could get ugly because the Texans defense is so good unless we get some vintage Rodgers like we saw last week. But Baltimore's defense is nowhere near what Houston's defense is. Jaguars, Bills, I mentioned it earlier. That could be the game of the weekend. Patriots, Chargers, sneaky good. How does Drake May do in his playoff debut? And the game of the weekend is that 3:30 game on Sunday. Eagles, Niners.
I can't believe that's a 5.5 point spread.
I'm also surprised by that. But San Francisco's defense is not very good.
It's a good offense going against a good defense, and then a bad offense going up against a bad defense.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't say the Eagles offense.
Eagles offense, bad offense. Yeah,
Eagles offense is bad.
Got it. I was trying to slot which one was which. Yeah, no, you're right. So we'll take a look at all those games in our rapid-fire wildcard pick / analysis a bit later. Brad Nortman going to join us in a moment. And I do want to talk to him about this because I think his brain will be perfect about it. So I want to get your guys' thoughts before he joins us in just a second. Rust, right? The idea of, and you mentioned it, Jordan Love being off for 2.5 weeks, Will. I think this is an advantage for the Packers. I think the fact that Jordan Love has not played for 2.5 weeks is a good thing, right? He's as healthy as he's been all season. I think he'll be able to pick up where he left off. Now, time will tell very early if resting your starters last week was a good decision or a bad decision. Are you looking rusty? Do you look like you haven't run an offense?
Don't we know though now with the way the injury report is and the guys that are going to be playing that
it was a good thing,
right?
Yeah.
Like, regardless of
in terms of the players you'll have, yes,
right,
of course,
because a closer to 100% Josh Jacobs is better than whatever version of Josh Jacobs we got over like the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's an immediate benefit. Zach Tom simply being able to play, massive upgrade, and like getting guys on the field, I think is more important. Because of where the Packers were health-wise. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had to do so many transactions to just get a healthy team on the field over the past 2 weeks. It's like in the 30s.
Yeah, it's got to be some sort of record. I mean, what they did last night, it was 23 leading up to the Vikings game.
Right. So all those things they had to do, like even if you don't come out hot, I would still rather have Zach Tom at right tackle than Jordan Morgan. Mm-hmm. I would still rather have Jordan Love than Malik Willis. I would still rather have Josh Jacobs than Emmanuel Wilson. Those are all Evan Williams being on the field. Those are all things that I would much rather prefer.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So, Russ, do you buy it?
Not really, because we've seen
in this specific context of Jordan Love.
We've seen plenty of teams rest their players and come out and absolutely dominate. And we've seen people lay eggs. I think it's more execution than it is layoff.
The offensive weapon, 6-year NFL vet, our buddy Brad Nortman is here now. Hi, Brad.
Gentlemen, thanks for welcoming me in. I appreciate it. Mr. Irrelevant.
Good Friday visits leading up to the Super Bowl. And there's your buddy. They were just showing Jared Allen at Super Bowl 50.
Oh, wow. That's my guy.
Teammate.
That's right there, Jared Allen.
So you were on the Rich Eisen show, which is on our TV here in the studio. That's the Super Bowl you played in with Carolina. Obviously, not great memories in that game, though you did punt a lot in that game.
A lot of punts, 8 punts, and Snoop Dogg, I remember he worked his way down the tables, right? I mean, the media at the Super Bowl is crazy, right?
Yeah.
You got like 4 or 5 opportunities throughout the entire week, a couple hour stretches, and you have all these different media outlets, right? Mm. Well, Snoop Dogg, I could see from about 50 yards away, working his way toward our table, the specialist table, getting a little nervous, getting a little sweaty, palms are getting a little bit clammy.
You're like, holy crap, that's Snoop Dogg?
It's Snoop Dogg, yeah. I mean, you see a guy like that, and you're just like, whoa. I mean, am I looking at the same guy here? And came to the table. It smelled like a cloud of marijuana. It did. I was a little concerned about a random drug test leading up to it. There I am, right there.
Oh, yeah,
right
you're on
there.
TV. You're on TV.
Oh, my gosh.
There's your picture with Snoop Dogg on TV right now.
That is absolutely crazy.
What are the odds of that?
I can translate to you what he was saying. He was saying, I love these specialists. These are the guys I'm partying with after they win.
Can you do it in a Snoop Dogg voice?
No,
I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Let's not get Brad canceled on his first appearance with us. Brad's going to be with us every Friday leading through the Super Bowl as we kind of break down, both the playoffs at large, but also hopefully for a couple more weeks at least, the Packers matchup. We're discussing the idea of rust. And I mean, look, frankly, me, Josh, and Will did not play in the NFL. You did. Jordan Love hasn't played for 2.5 weeks. I view that as an advantage for the Packers. But there's this whole thing. Is rust real? Is he going to be rusty? Because he hasn't played in so long? How do you view rust, and especially in the context of Jordan Love? Is this an advantage or disadvantage that he hasn't seen the field in 2.5 weeks?
I don't think that's a long enough time for rust to accumulate, right? I mean, you're talking about if you're out the whole season, right? Something like that, and then it's the first week of the NFL season. Maybe you haven't felt like you've gotten any NFL action for 12 months. Then I can feel like, okay, there's going to be some rust. There's going to be some things where the first time getting hit, the first time throwing the ball into a tight window, there are just many firsts that if you don't do it for a certain length of time, yeah, you feel a little bit rusty. But 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks for Jordan Love. He has played enough games. He has enough rapport with these receivers, too. That's another reason why I know that, Bo Melton's out, so maybe, Matthew Golden
might be detrimental to their success, Joshy.
But
no Bo Melton.
Between Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, I mean, the guys that are the marquee go-to guys, he's got enough rapport with them that he can pick up where he left off. And I feel like rust is only there for, the first drive or so. Matt LaFleur, I'm sure, is going to put him in a good position, confident throws, get him into rhythm, because that's critical for them. And as I was driving in, I was just thinking, playoff games, what are the moments of playoff games where it feels like you could get tight? It's the first 8 minutes of the game, last 8 minutes of the game. Those are the times where playoff games actually feel different. Every time between them, like the middle 80%, it feels like a normal game. First 8 minutes, final 8 minutes. That's where I feel like Jordan Love needs to be at his best. Get through the rust at the end, prove you're a big game quarterback in the final 8 minutes.
So you as a punter, if you're utilized in those spots, are you like, damn, this isn't going well? The first 8 minutes, last 8 minutes?
Yeah. I would like for my rust to accumulate as long as possible in those moments.
Right.
But yeah, it's all about getting that first rep underneath the belt. And I actually liked, this might sound like, if any Jags and Panther fans are listening or watching, this might sound kind of sacrilegious in a way. I liked an early punt. I liked an early stalled out drive. Give me a 3 and out. Let me go out there, punt it, let it rip, get all my nerves out of the way. Sure. Let's get this game into the
Well, I imagine that's how any athlete feels, though, right? Like, I'm super nervous. This is a huge stage. Get it out of the way.
That's right.
So who are you rooting for? And like, if we did a Brad Nortman's power rankings of who he's rooting for and wants to see win the Super Bowl, who would be in the top 5?
Well, I will list the top 5. So we'll start with number 5.
Okay.
I would actually like to see the Buffalo Bills do well. I feel I like Josh Allen. I want them to be able to get the monkey off their back. I got a couple friends and family that are longtime Buffalo fans. Not even just Brian D, who was our content director. So Buffalo Bills is number 5 for me. I would say number 4 would be, trying to go through the teams of who are all in the playoffs. Nobody on the NFC side really does much for me. I'm not going to lie. Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers
Rodgers.
And Aaron Rodgers. I want to see him make a deep playoff run. I need a vintage Aaron Rodgers playoff performance. Number 3 is the Green Bay Packers. Of course, the Green Bay Packers. I want to see him make a deep run. Perfect case scenario, Green Bay Packers versus the number 2 Carolina Panthers. I just don't think Carolina has an actual shot, which is why I'm not putting that at number 1. And number 1 would be Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why I wore one of their shirts today.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed you went with them over the Panthers, so I thought maybe there was a.
It's a rare environment to where the Panthers and the Jags are both in the playoffs.
We just talked about it. It was 96, right?
Yeah, 96.
Is that the last time?
Yes. Their first season, both
of them were expansion franchises that year, and they both made the playoffs.
Yeah, one of my ADHD notes to start the show, I said, I don't remember a playoffs where they've both been in it.
Yeah. Josh, you're about my age, right? You're in your mid-30s?
Yep.
So you remember when those teams first came about, expansion teams, right?
Yes, of course.
Is it just me, or do I feel like there was like a wave of interest in Carolina and Jacksonville? I had Carolina and Jacksonville like gear. A kid, being a huge Packer fan as like a 7-year-old kid here in Wisconsin.
They struck at the perfect time where starter jackets were a big thing.
Yes.
And the teal was a huge color for whatever reason in the 90s. The Marlins, the Hornets.
The Hornets, yeah.
Yes.
Everybody had that starter jacket.
Jacksonville had the teal as well. And then it's more of a baby blue, less teal in Carolina.
Yeah.
But I remember as soon as those two teams came onto the scene, you saw kids wearing their jerseys, their hats, the starter jackets, and there was really no reason why other than like, hey, this is a new thing and it's in the NFL.
Yeah.
I remember that distinctly. I remember one kid wore a who was the quarterback that started the Jaguars franchise?
Mark Brunell.
The greatest Jags quarterback of all time, by the way.
I almost said Bulger, so I'm glad Brunell was the. He wore that jersey like 3 times a week. And it was all throughout elementary school.
I remember Mark Brunell. So if you remember, the Jags used to practice at UW-Stevens Point.
Yeah. Shout out.
For the first couple of times that they were franchises. And so we went and visited and snapped a picture of Mark Brunell with kind of like me, like right there, and him walking in, from the practice.
This is when you were like a kid.
I was a kid, yes.
Yeah.
So we sent that picture. My dad wrote out a letter, said, Brad, my son, loves you, got a picture of you. Would you mind signing this? And oftentimes when you send that, it's like sending it into a black hole.
Right.
Like you just don't know if it's going to spin back around.
Right.
And he did. He returned it, signed it, wrote a little note. So when I went to Jacksonville, he sort of like engaged. I think he might be a quarterback coach now in the league somewhere. But at the time, he was just sort of like kind of part of the organization. So I brought it up to him. I said, Mark, like when I was a kid, I sent you a picture, you returned it and signed it. And it's super cool to meet you now. And he says, well, you were one of the few.
Yeah.
You were one of the few.
I was going to say that.
I was curious how much fan mail Mark Brunell was getting in the 90s. Now, obviously, the era in which he played and the era in which you played, right, there's a little bit of a 2-decade separation. Did you ever get any fan mail when you were in the NFL?
Well,
I've never asked you this.
A couple of rabid Badger fans would send me some Badger stuff that I would lovingly sign and send back. A couple of times I would receive Panther and Jag stuff, but it was not infrequent where I would get a letter in my mail. You'd literally go to your locker and you just have like a stack of mail sitting on it and you start going through it. And I obviously would have like, maybe once a month.
Right.
And it would be 2 envelopes. But
There's a lot different Cam Newton's locker than yours.
And so Cam was like 3 lockers down from me and he would get baskets. Baskets of mail. Him, Steve Smith, and all those guys. So I remember one time opening it up, looking through it, and it was a letter. And it said, hey, Brad, you're a great punter. I'm so thankful you're a part of the Panthers. Keep pounding. I've been writing Cam Newton for like 4 weeks.
No way.
I haven't gotten through to him. Would you please have him sign this? And it was a picture of Cam. He said, could you please give this to Cam for him to sign and send back to me?
Did you do it?
Someone using me as a gopher.
Yeah.
Did
you do it?
I did. I said, Cam, listen, there's a guy.
You got to appreciate this hustle.
I said, you got to, can you just sign this and send it back? And he goes, I got you. As if I am like trying to be like, it's like as if it's a buddy of mine. I don't know this guy.
It's honestly a wise move though, because you can just go up and say, hey, I never get mail. I got this one. Just sign it for me quick.
Yeah, seriously.
And we'll move right on.
Make me feel a little bit better.
Love it. Brad Nortman with us here on Mr. Irrelevant ahead of Wild Card Weekend. It's Packers-Bears coming up at Soldier Field tomorrow. Packers 1.5 point favorites. We were kind of discussing like, I don't know that this game's going to be comfortable at any point for either side. It doesn't feel like there's a blowout brewing either way. It feels like it could go down to the last possession, which Joshy said, I don't know if it's the last possession, but it should be close throughout. Like, it just feels like this is going to be prime Packers-Bears with a little bit of flurries mixed in.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, these teams really know one another well at this point. I've never had a time where I've faced a divisional opponent twice and then played them in the playoffs. It felt like every time you circled back to your divisional opponent, the second time, you felt like you knew them pretty well. The level of intimacy that these two teams have facing each other third time in 6 weeks is something that I can't even put myself in the shoes of. That's how rare it is. So I do think tendencies are well known. I think game plans, players, strengths and weaknesses are well known. I also think that this is going to be a game where both sides want to control time of possession.
Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be many possessions. There might be 8 possessions. And when you think about that, each team. So when you think about that, it just even more so means that mistakes are magnified, penalties, drops, like the things that get in the way of success are just going to be absolutely magnified. So I see it as a close game. I see it, the offensive having success on both sides. And to me, it's the biggest game for the Packers since the divisional round against the 49ers.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't think that any playoff game.
Rodgers, okay.
I don't think that any playoff game in the Love LaFleur era matches this one. Both on trajectory, hype, rivalry, and meaning, right? Because you're sort of at an inflection point of the organization.
I think retroactively, the Cowboys game meant a lot for all of us believing in Jordan Love and sort of
validating him.
Right, the path they had set. But in terms of
there wasn't high expectations, though. Right,
stakes going in, expectations,
pressure.
where you are, it is worlds different. And I don't think you can really argue much else.
And ultimately, this could decide the future of Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, which still seems kind of mind-boggling for me to say, because they may have already made up their mind, frankly. They may say, yeah, we're going to extend him no matter what. We're just kind of waiting for the season end. Or it could be, you know, the popular opinion, which we've talked about many times before, Josh, is like they could go, hey, you get a 1-year extension. He could say, take a hike, right? And then all of a sudden is Matt LaFleur the head coach? That's something that's fascinating. But if they win this weekend, obviously the direction of that conversation changes a little bit. Only other 7 seed to win a playoff game is the Green Bay Packers, looking to make that 2 times this weekend. They are favored 1.5, as I mentioned, in Chicago. So I guess aside from Packers Bears, what's your favorite game of the weekend? Which one is definitely on the television?
I mean, taking out the bias, I do think Jacksonville Buffalo is a fun game. Yeah, I think you've got electricity on both sides. I think they're interestingly matched up well enough together. Sunday at 1 is kind of a fun window for it. The other one would be San Francisco Philly.
Right after that.
I think that one is really interesting. It's just amazing how good the wild card teams are. I know we did this on KBN and we talked about, I mean, you guys did this on Irrelevant too. The wild card teams versus the divisional winners. I can't remember a group of wild card teams being so good. Mm-hmm. Rams, Packers, Bills, Houston Texans,
Niners,
49ers.
Chargers. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think what makes it interesting is the 2 teams we'd probably pick for best in each, the AFC and NFC, aren't the 1 seeds.
Yeah.
I'd say the Patriots were the best team.
I'd say you're right on that.
They are a 2 seed, and then the Rams are a 5 seed.
The Rams being a 5 seed are crazy.
It's bonkers.
I mean, week 15, you're like, this team is far and beyond the best team in the NFL.
Right. And I felt like that most of the season, and then things don't break their way. Next thing you know, they're a 5 seed on.
They lose to Atlanta on Monday Night Football. And you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I know it was like a weird late collapse for them. But even then, you can't discount what they've done and who they are.
Right.
I mean, great defense and great quarterback. So with that, you can get pretty far. But this is one of the best weekends of football in the entire calendar, and that was kicked off last night by an amazing game.
So the 4 of us being the NFL fans we are, I hate to do this, but there's only 13 NFL games remaining. Only got 13 left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Makes me really sad.
I don't like that at all.
13 left, and 6 of them are obviously this weekend.
You got more time to read your book in a few weeks.
That's true. I can get back into my book. All right, Brad, before we get you out of here, I want to bring you up to speed on some things that have been going on around Mr. Irrelevant the last few months. So obviously, you were part of the infamous NFL Combine.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I should mention we are about a month and a half away from 2.0 version of that.
Oh, so are we going to take another spin at it?
Oh, we're taking another spin at it.
He has to.
I have to follow
it can't get worse, right?
Are you going to do any sort of preparation?
Yeah, so I'm going on vacation the week after the Super Bowl. I'm going to Florida for a week. And I think I'm just going to do like wind sprints on the beach. I think
it's going to hurt.
I think I'm going to be trying.
Sand is very hard to run. Be careful.
No, I know, but that makes it harder. That should make me stronger.
How funny would him blowing an Achilles be?
Oh my
Josh, dude.
What the hell, man?
running in sand, trying to get a social
it's
video.
the thing to hurt nowadays.
Yeah.
So he's been reading, so at least we can guarantee his Wonderlic score will be a little higher.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't do that last year. Maybe we should do an IQ test.
Yeah.
But that's like the only thing you'd be good at, so I don't know if we should do that.
I think they do mock Wonderlicks. Like, you can find them online.
I've taken one before.
I have never. We should try that. Will, you should take one too, just to see where I rack up in comparison. Okay, so we've done some other bets that need to be paid off around here. First off, this dates back to December 20th, the Packers-Bears game. Me and Will made a bet. I have to do a one-man flash mob of the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
Oh, wow.
Before the Super Bowl occurs.
Tell him where.
In the Third Street Market Hall.
Oh, my
He has to bring a speaker, start playing music, and then do start to finish the dance.
That is
a bad punishment.
That's a bad punishment. That's really bad.
Well, the thing is, I was mocking Will for a majority of that game because it looked like the Packers were going to waltz their way to victory, and then everything, the collapse of it. So, what were we doing? Whatever he does.
You also were tweeting, like, that's just a mistake on you.
There we go. Yeah, so I got to learn and perform that dance prior to the Super Bowl.
Good luck.
The other one, our season-long NFL bets obviously have come to an end now, or NFL picks. We picked the Packers game and then an underdog to win outright every week, the four of us, myself, Josh, Will, and Hunter. You're looking at the first place finisher right here.
Good job.
So I won it. Hunter and Will tied for second place, and Josh took last place.
The separation of everyone, was it
2 games?
2 games.
It was the Tyler
no
Loop.
way.
Yes.
Wow.
Tyler Loop missing the field goal in the Ravens-Steelers game decided it.
Now, mind
that
you,
was crushing
there were
for many
various
people.
times throughout the season where Will won a game because there was, the vault of a field goal moved a team closer and they ended up winning the kick. Like, I had so many scenarios where it was,
I remember that.
where there was so many, like, oh, I was winning for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, look up and you're like, wait, they lost?
So initially what we had agreed upon was the loser would spend wild card weekend at Will's apartment.
Which, on second thought, we didn't really think through all that deeply.
Why is that a punishment?
Right?
Well, Josh losing was the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that would least want to not be at his own house.
Oh, so you have to live there?
Oh,
for a
he's
couple days?
sleeping over. Yeah.
Okay,
Spend the night. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty brutal.
So we're not going to do it this
No
weekend.
thanks, Will.
We're going to do it the weekend the Packers are no longer playing.
Okay.
There's another wrinkle to that.
Yeah, we've got a problem.
I have purchased divisional round tickets for if the Bears win.
Well, they're not going to. So,
Well, if they do, I
won't be next week.
And
So it'll be
in
championship
Chicago.
weekend.
And also, Saturday, I have dinner reservations that we had to get 3 months in advance, so I can't do it next weekend.
Okay, great. We'll do it championship.
But
weekend.
can't you go to dinner and then just go back to Will's apartment?
No. He has to do
it's-
everything Will does.
It's a shut-in?
Yes.
It's a shut.
What if I want to go to dinner?
Well, you're not part of the reservation, pal. So, like, if Will wants to go work out at the gym, Josh has to go with him. If he wants to go to the bar, Josh has to go with
That's
him.
a lot of power.
I know.
If he has to go grocery shopping, Josh is accompanying him to the store, right? So it's a brilliant bet.
You guys bring some legit punishments that are relevant.
Now we need to pay him off is the issue, and we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, Brett, I've been asking for a recount since Monday when I found out I lost. No one can provide me evidence of me actually losing.
Oh, man.
And then when I brought that up, Will said, well, that's probably a good point because he doesn't have the history of it either.
Oh, wow.
So I'm still in 50-50 on if I actually have to do it. Because, I mean, they don't just say, well, you lost elections.
That's true.
Some have
There's
tried.
evidence. Yeah.
Some have tried, but usually there's evidence. There's votes to support that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I trust Will's math. He's going to take the Wonderlic score and show you just how consistent and smart he
When it
is.
comes to trusting math, you start either me or Hunter 1 or 2.
And then it's a large gap. And it's a very large gap.
And you two are in an absolute war between who's going to win on that specific day.
I won't argue that.
If something was messed up too, it was in like week 8. So we're gonna have to go way back.
Wow.
Nothing
Pull
was
the
messed
tape.
up, Will. Stick to your guns,
Pull the
man.
tape.
I mean, Josh has a good point. I'm not very organized.
You're paying it off, yes?
I intend to, yes, but as much as we want this to be an inconvenience, it's going to be on my time.
Make it a summer weekend. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, let's go to Summerfest.
That's not a punishment.
Why?
He's just sleeping over after getting drunk watching live music. Like,
I mean,
what if I want to do that?
If I know Will and I, the result of whatever happens is probably going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll still be fun, but we should do it in the winter while football's. Anyway, all right. We'll hopefully you pay that off by the time we hit the Super Bowl, and we'll have more footage of my Napoleon Dynamite dance, and hopefully your weekend together to react to with Brad, who's going to join us every Friday through the Super Bowl. We kept you a couple minutes late, Brad. Thanks for hanging out. We'll do it again next week.
It's all good. My pleasure, boys. Looking forward to it. Go Pack and go Jags and Panthers.
Okay, yeah, a man that's cheering for a fourth of the playoff pool, a quarter of the teams in the playoffs. Brad's going to be a happy man no matter what this weekend, unless somehow the Packers lose.
There's a chance he goes 0-3.
Yeah,
which is way worse than going 0-1.
Although,
but Strouf just guaranteed he's going to be a happy man.
Yeah, well. I would hope so, because I think the Packers are going to win. All right, let's get to... I just want to play this for those of you that have not heard this from the Packers defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, earlier this week, who has officially now been requested to be interviewed by the Tennessee Titans. Will likely be a head coach somewhere. Now, a quarter of the league, I make a joke about Brad cheering for a quarter of the playoff pool. A quarter of the league has a head coaching opening, which is bananas. I mean, and we talked a couple weeks ago, Joshy. I think we at one point said, yeah, this might be kind of a quiet year. Usually it's like 5 or 6 openings in the NFL. This ends up being one of the craziest years. A quarter of the teams don't have a head coach right now, as 8 openings exist, which likely means Jeff Hafley is going to get one of those jobs, being one of the hottest coordinator candidates in the NFL. Here's what Jeff Hafley said to the Packers media earlier this week about his current position and looking forward to maybe taking a head coaching job elsewhere.
Yeah, I love this group. I love being part of the Green Bay Packers, and I never take that for granted every day when I drive in and I get to see Lambeau Field, honestly. I mean, I'm a guy who started coaching Division III football and worked my way up to be a college head coach, and now I'm part of the greatest NFL organization that there is, getting called plays. So that is so humbling to me. I love the defensive players that we coach. Like, I love these guys, and I love the staff, and I love working for Matt. And I never take that for granted, not 1 second, which is why when I answer that question, I don't think it'd be fair to anybody in here, anybody a part of this, for me not to give everything I have for this game. Would one day I like to be a head coach again? Absolutely, for sure. But like, just even answering this question for you right now, I just am so grateful and so happy to be here and be part of this. And I've just loved coming to work every single day here. Like, even joking with you guys, like, I know sometimes it's hard and you ask hard questions, but you guys have been incredible. And I mean that. And it's not like that everywhere. So I thank you guys for that. Everything that I have been a part of here, from Goody to Ed to Matt, it's just been like, what a blessing to be here for me and my family. So I appreciate that. And we are not going to be done. So I will see you guys next week.
Damn straight, Jeff Hafley. Damn straight. It's hard not to love that guy. And it sucks that he will likely, if there wasn't 8 openings, I would make the case he might pull a Ben Johnson. Say, there's not really a great opportunity for me. I'm going to stick back. But now you look at some of the openings, Baltimore, Miami, Atlanta. Like, there's some openings where if you're a candidate, you look at that and you go, I could do what the Patriots did. I could do what the Bears did. Right? Like, If there's a couple openings where I think you could walk in there and turn that team around pretty quickly, and those are the 3 that come to mind right away in Miami, Atlanta, and Baltimore. So we'll see. But for now, he's focused on Chicago. But really cool answer from him, and maybe kissing the media's ass a little too much. But all in all, just a humble dude and a really cool.
It's a wise move.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. He's been around the block a few times.
You could be a Rich Bisaccia and combative with everybody and have no one say nice things about you, or you can be Jeff Hafley and pleasant and illuminating and honest, and then all people will say is nice thing about you.
But the truth is, man, I mean, you can tell this guy's a leader. He's a leader of men. And
well, even if he's not, the representation of himself has made him a better candidate.
Right, absolutely.
Every time he gets in front of the mic, he's typically saying the right things, which I tend to believe is genuine. But we've seen our fair share of BSers and guys who aren't actually that, but exude that in front of a microphone because they know when to turn it on. Mm-hmm. And it's very clear that that's sort of a way to curry favor amongst the public.
Yeah, I agree. But hopefully he's got a couple things left to do as he ends that with, we'll see you next week. So you did pull the trigger. This is the first I'm hearing of this on divisional round tickets.
Yeah, I kept thinking about how awesome. No one has more on the line now next week than me.
Well, that's not true. You get a refund if they lose.
Yeah, but then I work again.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So he's either going from drinking 14 brewskis in Chicago and watching the Bears to working 12 hours.
Like next weekend could potentially be one of the best days of my life.
Or
I'm working.
It's a smart, heady play by him not to call it one of the worst days of his life.
No.
Yeah, heady play.
Which isn't bad, but I mean, Soldier Field, working.
What's worse, losing in embarrassing fashion and getting said packing and having it happen on a live stream on ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube while Strouf and I laugh in your face?
Okay.
Or having to work next weekend?
Well, wouldn't both of those things happen?
Yes, those two things are mutually exclusive, but he's not asking
which one's
the question
worse?
as mutually exclusive.
Probably. I mean, if the Packers kill them, I don't think it'll be as bad, but definitely laughing because I don't hate working like the pre and post game. But you guys laughing in my face wouldn't be too fun.
What's worse, the embarrassment of losing and having it be on live stream, or the Packers winning again next weekend?
Probably still the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
Fair. Can I ask how much you paid, or are you not comfortable discussing?
Just say it's a lot. It's more. It's substantially more.
So how many tickets did you buy? You bought 2, I assume, but somebody's paying for the other one?
I'm in a group of 4, so I paid for 1 out of 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just one ticket. Can I guess a number and you tell me if it's too high or too low?
Yeah, I'll give you one guess.
$500.
A little bit higher.
Are the seats good?
No. It's playoffs by the lake, baby. I'm all in on it. I haven't gotten to go to a game this year.
Have you ever been to a playoff game?
No.
Okay, that's cool, then.
Been to a Brewers playoff game, that's it. My record at Bears games is pretty 500, so.
Okay.
I was famously at the 6-3 rainy Seahawks-Bears game last year. Possibly,
the Thursday night game?
Possibly one of the worst NFL games of all time.
Yeah. In fact, I believe you had a viral tweet about that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great game. 6-3. Yeah, don't forget that one. All right, let's run through the wild card card. Wild card card.
Yep.
That was a correct sentence. It just felt wrong.
Wild card slate?
Yeah, that'd be better. Wild card slate.
That gentleman that was just walking up here was...
Mob boss?
I mean, his face was like an inch from the glass.
You can see his breath still moisturized on the glass.
Crazy. I looked up and I just jump scared.
Well, that's the thing about, and we've talked about this before. So our studios, for those of you that live in Milwaukee, are in the 3rd Street Market Hall. We're in the back corner, but our entire window view to the 3rd Street Market Hall, it's an entire wall of glass. We're like zoo animals.
Yes.
And people truly treat us like zoo animals. They tap on the glass. It's crazy.
Yeah, most people like wave or acknowledge from a distance, but sometimes they come and press their nose up against the glass, almost like we are animals inside of a cage.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I don't either. But hey, life goes on and we power through. All right, let's go through some of the games. We'll look at Packers-Bears last. Let's start in the AFC. Let's start with the Saturday, or excuse me, both the Saturday games are in the NFC. So let's start with the noon game on Sunday. Might be the best game of the weekend, like Brad
Maybe
Norman
we
said.
should have just gone chronologically and skipped over the Packers game.
Let's do that. Start over. Probably the worst game of the weekend is the first one tomorrow. It's Panthers at Rams, or excuse me, Rams at Panthers. The Rams have the biggest spread of the weekend. They are 10.5-point favorites on the road at Carolina. It's 3:30 tomorrow on Fox. I'm picking the Rams. Though I think the Panthers cover. I don't think it's an 11-point victory. They've been too inconsistent recently. Maybe they piece it together here, but I picked the Rams, but the Panthers to cover.
I think the Rams win, and I think if the Panthers end up covering, it's because the Rams are thinking about the divisional round and they pack it in.
Okay.
I don't think the Panthers are that good at all. I think they've improved much, but Bryce Young's no good. I know we saw one result during the regular season. Things are different in the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. If the Packers and Panthers played this week, the Packers would be heavy favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Before Will and Hunter give their quick thoughts on this game, I just want to say I think this will end up being our only unanimous agreement game of the weekend. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys. Take the Rams, and if I had to take the points, I'd take the Panthers. I think there's just going to be, this has late game, like Bryce Young touchdown to cover the spread written all over it.
Yeah, Rams.
Go ahead,
it's
Hunter.
not even close.
Hunter, so you would take the points as well?
I think so. I think they're going to run away with it.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, they certainly could. They're certainly capable. Before we move on, you a little sick? Sound a little nasally today.
Yeah, I've just had literally just congestion for like the last week and a half. It's been real frustrating.
It's that time of the year, baby.
Yeah.
I had it for a few days, but it went away, thankfully.
It
Nasal
was
spray. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I already take that for allergies, so I'm just kind of Mucinex running through it. Plus, I did a hockey game last night for Prep Mania, and then I've got a boys basketball game tonight. So I'm grinding.
Puck?
Yeah,
Hunter's covering puck this year.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we had Middleton, Wanakee.
We'll get to puck before we end the show. All right, we'll skip the Packers game. Let's go to noon on Sunday, which could very well be the best game of the weekend. It's the 3-seeded Jags hosting the 6-seeded Bills. The Bills are a 1.5 favorites, so same spread as the Packers game. I don't want to pick first because I don't know what to pick here.
I might be trying to write a fun story and entertain myself. I love the Jags to win this game on the road.
They're at home.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, at home. The storyline of Josh Allen getting cleared out of all the bugaboos.
Which one?
Huh? Oh, well, he's Josh Hines Allen, actually.
Okay, I just wanted you to clarify which Josh Allen.
That was such a good joke, it went over my head.
Like most of them do.
Gotcha. The fact that he would have no Mahomes,
no Lamar,
no Burrow, and lose in the wild card round would be so entertaining.
Can you imagine the commentary on Monday?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It would lead all of it, so that's been my pick. I'm sticking with it. My problem is I'm not sure the Jags are actually that good. Look at their schedule and the teams they've beaten when they've gone on this hot streak and look so good.
They've won 8 in a row.
But look at
the only good wins are the first win of those 8 was against the Chargers, 35-6. They drowned them.
Uh-huh.
And then they beat the Broncos by 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's an impressive win.
And then the other 6 are
Colts twice, Titans twice, Cardinals and Jets.
Yeah.
Colts were a good team.
Not when they played them either.
No.
Time. Phillip Rivers played quarterback in one of those.
Yeah.
He has a lot of heart.
And that was a close game, 23-17.
Was that the game that Daniel Jones got hurt in?
The first one? Let me look. I have it in front of me. I can tell you in 1 second. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. That was Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
And they won.
So they had quite a decent run out. There's some good wins in there, but
the Broncos win is the impressive one.
Yeah.
Hanging 34 on them, only allowing 20. That's a good win. But I'm with you, I think. I initially picked Buffalo all the way to the Super Bowl, and I said, that's too easy for what this playoffs is. I've got Jacksonville as well.
I'm pretty torn because on one side you have the Bills who have been here so many times before.
And that part's important.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
And Josh Allen's experience in the playoffs, and James Cook's been awesome this year. But I just think that the Jaguars are such a more well-rounded team, and we've, like you guys said, we've seen them beat some pretty good teams down the stretch here, and Duval going with the Jags at home.
Oh, wow.
They have the pool. The pool will be in full effect.
The pool will be in
weekend.
full effect. You're right about that.
Every time they show that pool, it looks like the least desirable place to be.
Are we going to go unanimous right now? Hunter? You picking the Bills or the Jags?
I'm going to take the Bills.
Okay,
I think,
there we go.
I don't think the Bills go to the Super Bowl, but I don't think this is the week that they lose. This feels like another AFC Championship heartbreak for that franchise.
Okay.
I think if I had to root for one team, though, in the AFC, it'd be the Bills.
I struggle because I want to root for Rodgers, just they're not going to win.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be another unanimous game, actually. There's 2 of them here. But I want to root for Rodgers at least for now. But then I'll probably jump on the Bills bandwagon if they survive.
The disappointment you're going to feel watching him throw the ball into the dirt because Will Anderson's eating.
I'm less attached
alive.
now. Last week I was very attached because I wanted to see him get into the postseason because I think he's more likely to hang it up.
If it means he continues to go out and embarrass himself, all for it.
Hey, you're such a Aaron Rodgers hater.
I mean,
He's easy to hate.
watch 18. You have to watch 18 games to get like 6 watchable moments.
Yeah.
Because throughout the course of the season, you're like, what is this guy doing? Why
but
is he out there?
Joshy, let's just say this. Last Sunday night, for the Aaron Rodgers fans, and I know you're a hater, for the Aaron Rodgers fans, last Sunday night was awesome.
I'm not even a fan, and I enjoyed watching Raj.
That was awesome on Sunday. All right, let's go to 3:30 Sunday. Eagles are the home team over the 49ers, and they are favored by 5.5 points, which you said earlier, I think it was you, Will, that said that spread seems a little bit too big for this one. I've got the Niners on the road. I think the Niners win outright. Joshy?
I've been back. I think it's the Eagles. I think the Niners have just taken too much. They don't have enough on defense to stay competitive, and they're running into. I mean, this is probably the worst team for them to play, aside from maybe the Seahawks, in terms of like defensive strength and team. I just think I don't like the Eagles, and I think if the Bears were to win, I think the Bears have a very good chance of beating them again.
Yeah.
But I just think the Niners have run out of ammo. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's touched the ball like 8 bazillion times.
Still healthy, though.
He's incredibly inefficient with the ball. I just don't think they'll have enough.
Love it.
I'm also going to take the Eagles. I think the only way the 49ers win is if it's all relying on Brock Purdy, and I don't think he gets it done against this defense. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the last time they played in the playoffs was when Christian McCaffrey had to play quarterback because everyone was hurt.
That's right.
And the Eagles ended up winning the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles are too good to lose in the first round, and at home, give me the Eagles.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm worried about the fact that Trent Williams is still listed as questionable for the 49ers. So
Sure.
I think this could just turn into a lot of Brock Purdy trying to play Superman, and that's not a place I'd want to be if I was a 49ers fan. So I like the Eagles.
Okay, so 3-1 there. I'm outnumbered. Let's go to Sunday night. It's Patriots Chargers. I could see a path, but I'm not picking the path for Los Angeles. I think Drake May shines, maybe with a few hiccups in his playoff debut. But the Patriots have been so good and so consistent. They're so well coached, as are the Chargers. I've got New England in this one, but I think it's close. It's probably 3 or 4.
I think this game is the biggest blowout of the weekend.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think these are two
And
teams.
you're both picking the Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Patriots coast. I do think Drake May and the youth of the Patriots and just sort of the inexperience will catch up. Don't think it's happening against this team.
That's the thing about the AFC, though. There's a lot of inexperience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to catch up for somebody unless Buffalo rattles it off.
I'm not sure how Drake May is going to play in the actual game, but the Chargers are bottom 2 in offensive and defensive line, and that just doesn't play in the playoffs, especially against a Mike Vrabel defense.
Yeah. Hunter?
I think that we're going to see another Justin Herbert turnover party in the playoffs.
He is known for that.
That's a good take.
I feel like there's going to be 3 picks and a fumble in this one, and then we get the Monday conversation of, do the Chargers have to figure out a different option at quarterback?
Honestly, with as bad as his offensive line is, him turning the ball over, I can't be mad at you. You're trying to make something happen. You got nothing.
Something we're forgetting, though, will John Harbaugh be helping Jim?
We're not doing that.
On special teams?
Yeah.
We're not doing that right now. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Texans. I've picked him every week this year. I got to do it again. He's got one left in him. Give me Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers somehow in a low-scoring affair, low-scoring win over the Texans.
I've got the Texans and Aaron Rodgers not completing the game.
Whoa.
Too many
It's
hits.
a little dark.
God.
Is there a worse team for him to face?
I didn't know your hatred could go so low.
Is there a worse team for him to face?
I didn't know your hatred could go so low.
I didn't wish for it. I just thought that's going to be the result. Remember, was it Christian Ponder who played and like had the whole side of his body bruised from getting brutally hit in 1 week? I think it might have been against the Packers.
You think that's what happens to Rod?
Yes.
I don't like that. Okay, he's got the Texans, and Aaron Rodgers getting injured for some reason. Go ahead, Will.
I want to flip that around. I think if you're the Texans, the last team you want to see is the Steelers, because the Steelers have won 23 consecutive home Monday Night Football games.
Well, they're not at home. Oh, yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm. Give me the Steelers.
Really? What a stat.
23 in a row is very impressive.
What a stat. They're so bad that I just forgot they won the division.
Yeah. Flawed playoffs.
So you've got Steelers.
Give me the Steelers. Give me Raj. I want Raj to Adam Thielen 2 touchdowns.
So dark.
The retirement home parlay.
It's unwatchable filth.
This is going to feel like a Big Ten West game. I think Rodgers gets sacked a lot, and then I think Watt and Highsmith eat for Pittsburgh, and we might be lucky if we see 3 scores in this game. But I think the Pittsburgh figures out a way because I like their defense better.
The thing is we might end up in a situation where Aaron Rodgers is avoiding hits like we've seen before and avoiding a pass rush, that he's just like dirting balls and throwing them away, and it's just like, what are we doing?
He starts yelling at Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
I hope he takes his helmet off and gets mad again.
I could tell you somebody's getting screamed at.
The odds of the comms in his helmet going down twice again are very unlikely, but it was objectively hilarious when that happened.
Sure was. All right, last game, of course, is the Packers and Bears. I've got the Packers, shocking to nobody, in a really close one that I'm going to hate watching.
I've also got the Packers. I think I actually picked them to win by 10.
I don't see that happening, but I like your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Bears, and I would also like to preemptively congratulate whoever wins this game on the Super Bowl. History tells us whoever wins this game will win the Super Bowl.
Wins what game? The Packers-Bears? Oh, yeah.
The only 2 times they've matched up in the playoffs, the winner has gone on to win the Super Bowl, or in 1941, was it still called the Super Bowl?
It was the NFL championship game.
Yeah, the NFL championship. So, congratulations to whoever wins this game on the Super Bowl.
I'm almost to 1941 in my book. I'm in 1939.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Hunter? The objective party here. This is it. This is actually, I will say this. This is the pick I'm most looking forward to, which is why we're letting them go last.
17-7 Packers. I think they get a late touchdown. And it's going to be like, it sucks for Caleb Williams, but he's going to have to try and make a play. And then I think we see like Keyshawn Nixon get a pick 6, something like that, that then just makes it look worse than what the game was.
Pick 6. I like that prediction. That's a bold one. I like that. All right, there's our NFL wildcard picks and quick analysis. We're not betting anything for the wildcard and playoffs.
We should bring back the bet, see who wins at the
I
end
was going to be very upset if we tried to put a punishment on this or anything like that.
No, we've got too many to pay off right now. That
I think we should give Josh an out if he wins.
No, I'm not giving Josh an out. No outs. No outs.
It was a mistake by you.
I disagree. Okay, quickly, what we missed. Connor Bedard is back. Congrats, guys.
I've got one move left in my book, and that's quitting the program.
And he's laughing so hard before he even threatens it. I've got one move left. I'm not going to use it.
We're running out of options.
What if you and Strouf switched punishments?
Oh, I would never.
Yeah, Josh would quit the program.
I was sick to my stomach thinking about having to do that.
I would have never agreed
game.
to it. It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You guys didn't respond to the TikTok I sent you guys for an alternate punishment for Josh.
I didn't see it, I don't think.
I guess
I didn't watch
the human hydraulic press. A guy lost his fantasy league, and he had to dress as a human hydraulic press and then push his chin into different things. So he's like, we make Josh do that once a month.
No, we do. He does an entire episode of Mr. Irrelevant where every time I throw to him, he crunches something else.
I think Josh would rather stay at my apartment.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
Because at least then we'd have fun.
I do too. All right.
We are going to have fun.
Wild card week and enjoy it. A couple reminders for you if you're still with us on YouTube or the podcast feed. Green Bay Game Day will kick things off 4 o'clock Central tomorrow. Myself. Whoa. Wrong pipe. Myself, John Anderson, Brian Bulaga, Gabe Neitzel, Rob Domofsky, Jason Wilde with you from 4 until 7 on Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, as we will preview Packers-Bears. You can be nervous with us as we watch Rams and Panthers simultaneously. And then, during the game, all 3 of us in Milwaukee, Will, Josh, Strouf, will be live on YouTube. We will have a watch party, a watch-along. Who else is with us? Do you guys know?
believe Pablo and Tony Cartagena.
Pablo Iglesias, Tony Cartagena going to join us as well. Awesome.
Can we make a deal to just be really positive throughout, no negativity?
Dude, I'm going to lay on the floor. I'm going to be a total pool of
I'm
myself.
not looking.
You saw me. You saw how nervous and anxious and weird I was the 20th.
Soft.
It'll be worse. I'm bringing a blanket.
Little weenies.
I'm bringing a blanket. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow for Packers Bears on Green Bay Game Day on the ESPN Wisconsin watch along, watch party. Hope you can join us. Pull us up on a secondary screen and watch the game with us. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be a mess. It'll be good stuff. All right, we'll talk to you then, and then we will be back with you Monday at 12:30 Central right here on Mr. Irrelevant. Thanks for hanging with us. Go Pack, go. Peace.